confuse it with addictive longing. The real desire is called intuitive needs. Yeah, I have not yet told even any batch, my previous people, this distinction between intuitive needs and addictive longings. So that's where the whole thing lies. So what is the difference between intuitive needs and addictive longing? Addictive longing is all these things. It gives you the benefits, the menu is here. So intuitive longing means it's good if I get it, but I will not be frustrated if I don't get it. Intuitive longing means something from your inner self is saying, go in that direction. And you follow that direction, while the other one is addictive longing, said, don't go, be careful, you should not go. This one is very silent. This one has a lot of respect. This one doesn't control you and force you. It is not an addiction. So let us see. If you are addicted to alcohol, it means you must get it. If you're addicted to anything, there is a must. And therefore, to get this must, you're ready to betray yourself, betray your friends, go all the way, do anything in order to get this, in order to get a bottle in your hand. Here, no. You have an intuitive longing, an intuitive need, and then you relax and you wait for it to come, or even if it doesn't come, something inside you tells you it will come to me. So there is no frustration, there is no stress, there is no depression, there is no hatred, there is no anger, there is nothing. Just an inner voice saying, don't worry, it will come your way, give it time. This one said, forget about time, I want it here and I want it now. Aki e ahora. So, this is all I wanted to bring to your mind about this desires. Now we go to intuition, intention. Intention now. So here, you have a desire, intuitive desire, and the desire may be to become a Eucharistic minister. And if you don't get it, no big deal. A desire to be a teacher, a desire to be a volunteer at the summer fest, wherever. So you have a desire. Now, you have to have an intention for this desire. So intention is now, you're putting a focus to get this desire of being a volunteer. What do I intend? So intention is, I must learn to be polite to people. The intention now is, in order to get my desire fulfilled, I must learn to smile at all those people who will come for the summer fest. In order to get this intention fulfilled, I must get this desire fulfilled. I must register myself as a volunteer and give my name to sell cake, or to be the cashier, or to buy ice, or whatever it is. So intention, therefore, is a focusing of the desire that you have. And therefore it is not an addictive longing, but it is an intuitive need. Then it propels you in the direction that you would like to go. Intention is something that you remind yourself over and over again. So once you have the intention, your desire is to be Eucharistic minister, let's say. So now the intention means this is what I need to do. I have to go and meet a pastor, I have to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My intention, therefore now comes to the intention. My intention is after I become a Eucharistic minister or to distribute communion twice a month. That is my intention. Can you see how you are narrowing your desire? My intention, and then you go and tell your husband or you tell your wife, tell your children, see, I have an intention of volunteering my time for 2 masses, or once at Skyview or once at wherever, and this is what do you all agree with me? So you are now broadcasting your intention to the world, but this is where you desire to go. Intention, my dear friends, is something that what you are here for. Desire tells you intention. The intention. So now, in order to do this, in order to take this example, Eucharistic minister, what do? You go to the church. What is intention? Intention is when you go to the church to remind yourself over and over again, simple thing. I am here for. You don't have to say it, but deep inside you know, you left your house at 7 o'clock to come here, this thing, that thing, you took the front row and there you are, without vocalizing it or memorizing it and all, your whole being is geared and you know why you are here for. Let me ask you this question. When will you decide why you are on this planet Earth for? What is your intention with your life right now? What intention have you given to your life for today? And this, in the times when I was a child, etc., we started our day with an intention. It was called a morning prayer. So maybe now I don't say the morning prayer, but I have an intention. So this is how I'm sleeping on the bed. I know now is the time to get up. I take out the thing. I sit down. I put my legs on the floor. That is my ritual early in the morning when I get up first thing. Then I tell the Lord, oh, for today or for the last 1 or 2 weeks, okay, oh God, whom are you going to send to me so that I can bless them with my eyes and with my mind? And I'm going to do that to every person I meet today. My intention is there. In the meantime, if I forget it, it doesn't matter, but I have made that intention from the morning. And that colors my day, that colors the way I look at people, that colors the day I live my life for that day. Otherwise, if I don't have an intention, then I go around like an animal with eyes closed. Nowhere. Okay, let's see what happens. So if you don't have an intention, you live in the world as a victim more than as a creator. When you have an intention, you begin creating. When you don't have an intention, you live as a victim. Why did this happen to me? I did not know. I wish I knew, blah, blah, blah. But you have decided, whatever happens today, I'm going to look at a person who comes in front of me with infinite love. End of story. Whatever she says, it doesn't matter. But if you don't do that, then what she says matters, what you do matters, what the weather does matter, what the rain does matter. Everything matters afterward, because then I'm a victim. So intention takes you out from the victim mode of life into a passive being, into an active being who says, I have something to give to the world. So that's a decision in intention you have to do. Another intention. Why am I here? I'm here to experience oneness the whole day with God. Have that intention and repeat it every day. You don't need to make a mantra out of that. Oh, I forgot, or you forgot. No. You have that intention in the morning. And but in the morning you should not forget. So you begin the whole day with that intention. I am here the whole day. I dedicate to be one with God. And I pray that God will be one with him, one with me. So two things are there. God has heard your prayer. He's already started to be with you the moment you say that. You as human being might forget during the day with your ups and downs. It doesn't matter. What matters is you have started the day with an intention. Please start the day, every day of your life, start it with an intention. So your life for those 24 hours is full of meaning. The meaning you give it to it. Not the meaning that the world is saying you give to it. So much of our life is spent uh, acknowledging that the world is shaping my life. Rubbish. The world has shaped our life enough. It's time now to tell ourselves, I'm going to shape the world and my life. The third.
I find that when I've done this, doing the intention in the morning, then it puts the day in perspective, because I usually wake up and immediately my mind goes to all the things I have to do for home, for work, for dinner, But when I do that, it just helps me slow down a bit.
Yeah. So you have an intention. Imagine what it means to have an intentionless life and make it your intentionless day. So every day if you have an intention, you build up on those intention and you become more and more the creature that you would like to be, not what the world is shaping you to be. So have that intention. I want to be what I want to be, and I'm not going to be what the world wants me to be. I'm out from that racket right now. You are here to remember. You are here to remember. What are you here to remember? You are here to be one. You are here to make an intention for today. You are here to remember that your source and you are one. You are here to remember that the source will never leave you. You are here to remember that the only thing real in your life is your relationship with your source. So you can have that intention and tell yourself morning when you get up, okay, today I would like everything to remind me that I am one with God. End of story for that day. I would like everything to remind me that behind everything there is my source, and that everything comes from that source. Now, something negative happens. So you have already decided that that negative thing that came has come from the source of love. So your attitude towards that is, why me? Why did it happen to me? This is too bad. No, you have decided that I will see the source of love in everything that happens to me today, because I am one with that source and that source is one with me. Can you see how intention therefore has a great play in our lives? My dear people, brothers and sisters, I would like you to have a book or have some page in which whenever you get a thought, you write yourself, this is my intention. Then you get another thought, this is my intention, this is my intention, this is my intention. And then every morning when you get up, you might be having 10 or 15 intention. You may even be having 100. It doesn't matter. But the thing is, are you going to live your life according to the way you want it, and have your source with you, and have the direction of love with you, and have your intention behind it? Or are you going to live a confused life in which you are a victim of everything? The choice is yours. Any questions so far? So this is intention. So, one intention that I would like you to have for the whole of the course. And that's, let me see. I'm now going to have a little exercise with you guys. So you have a desire. And your desire was to become an awake person, to become a person who's aware, to become a person who's more conscious, to become a person who lives in the presence of God, to become a person who's enlightened. I think this is why you came for this course. Anybody disagrees with this? Did you come here to be a butcher or anything else? So that was your desire. Now to this desire to be awake, you have to add an intention. How do you wish to fulfill this desire? Your intention, therefore, because all Christians here, your intention, therefore, is be a Christ in this world. I now no longer live, Christ lives in me. So now you have that intention for the whole course. You desired these things. The intention, therefore, is to be the Christ. Have this intention, therefore, imprinted in your heart and in your mind, and in everything that you have. If you want to be the Christ, there is another micro intention. To bring about, I want to heal myself. From believing that the Father and I are not one. I have believed it for too long, and now my intention is to believe it more and more strongly that the Father and I are one. I don't want to believe anything else. Anything else. Some of these people, none of you who came for this course have ever asked me this question, but some parishioners, they ask, Father, you never tell us about the devil. You never preach about hell. I said, there's so much love in the world, I have not yet discovered that. I cannot discover hell right now. I have no time. Do you mean to say it doesn't exist? I said, I'm not bothered. It may exist, it may not exist, but I'm involved in God's love, and that is where I'm heading. If you believe in hell, praise God. If you don't believe in hell, I didn't say I don't believe in hell. I only say I have no time for that. Do you believe in a devil? I have no time for that. So we move out from these things and focus. Why should we focus We have little brains. It's enough to focus on love and go into that, the whole sail, go into the light, rather than, is there darkness? Is there darkness? Is there darkness? Oh yes, there is darkness, so what are you going to do about it? So, in my theology, I don't say that there is no devil. I have no time. I don't say there is no hell. I don't say there is no damnation. I don't say there is no purgatory. There is all, but I have no time. My time is dedicated to this and propagating the goodness of God to the whole world. What did Christ tell us? He told us, love God with all your heart and mind and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. End of story. He never told us anything else. He never said, because if you don't love God and do this, you know what, you're going to hell. He never said that. So we can discuss that. So that for me is a pain. So, getting desire, intention, and with intention, maybe now you come, this was all in the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, a simple question. My whole day today, if anybody saw it from out or somebody took a video of my day today, what conclusion would they arrive? What was I committed to? Was I committed to make a lot of money? Was I committed to finishing my jobs one after another? Was I committed to getting a handsome man look at me and smile? Was I committed to? Was I committed to? Was I committed to? And just don't beat yourself, don't condemn yourself, nothing. But be aware, okay, today it looks like I was committed to this. Good night, tomorrow let's see. So you're not condemning yourself, you're evaluating yourself. You're not judging yourself. You're only saying, you're only sifting and saying this is the good and this is, I have to improve here, I have to improve there. And because how can you improve unless you, so every day in the morning, what do I want to do with the day? And at the end of the day, don't ask yourself, did I do that? No. If anybody took a video of my life, what would they say I was committed to? Okay. Now we go to the next key. So the third key, so we have desire, we have intention, and the third key now is allowance. And each of this key has more value than the previous one. And the gospel passage for this, Jesus tells us, you wish to follow me? Leave all things. What is the meaning to leave all things? All the things that you thought were necessary for you to live, or forget about live, to survive, just dump them out. All the things that you think you need to survive, things are things that come to need to survive. But in order to live, you need no thing. And how did God create the whole world? Out of no thing. So if you want to create a new world for yourself, create it from no thing. Isn't that a beautiful thought? To create from no thing. So what do? Leave all things. You create an emptiness. You create a silence. You create a darkness. You create space. These are all nothing. Emptiness, silence, darkness, space. And when you open yourself to emptiness, silence, darkness and space, then creation begins to take place. And what is the creation that begins to take place? Is love, joy, peace, happiness, prudence, fortitude, and keep on saying all that. This now, seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will come. The world of the ego tells you, forget about emptiness, you have needs, you have wants, addictive wants, you have desires. Come on, when are you going to fulfill that? And so you go like a, what is that animal that goes round and round?
Hamster? Hamster?
Hamster. You go around getting nowhere and feeling very tired at the end of it. So we are there, the ego makes you go round and round and round because it hates emptiness, silence, darkness and space. But because here real creation takes place. So start meditating. The third batch is receiving every month the key to meditation. Why does the ego have needs, wants and desires?
To feel good about itself? To feel good about itself?
Yeah, but why do you want to feel good about yourself? You're on the right path. Let's see. Why do you want to feel, when do you not feel good about yourself?
When I don't believe that I am one with God.
I'm talking about the ego. We're talking of the ego. The ego has needs, wants and desires. So when does your ego have needs, wants and desires? Why does it want needs, wants and desires?
Is it for survival?
For survival?
Survival of fear?
Fear?
Acceptance. Acceptance.
Acceptance, yeah.
When you're not happy.
When you're not happy. The ego wants a lot of needs, wants and desires because the ego wants to control your life. The ego wants to control your life. So it tells you, go in that direction. And it says, go in that direction. Be afraid of that. Can you see how the ego dominates every aspect of our life by putting needs, wants and desires and making it an addictive longing? Because the ego cannot live without having control over you, and it teaches you you're nothing if you don't have control over your dog or a cat, if you don't have control over your shoes or the color of your nose, if you don't have control over your hair, you don't have control over your daughter, you don't have control over your husband, you don't have control, you are nothing. And so many people, they are afraid to lose the contact with their ego because they identified themselves so strongly with the ego that if there is no controlling in their life, they feel their life is empty. So that's why Jesus said, unless a seed fall to the ground and die, then it has no control. Then it becomes a huge tree. But as long as the seed says, no, 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 it remains a seed. And it might die also without bringing any fruit into this world. So, with this now, to allow means to begin to look at your life differently. Begin to look at your life differently. Not a life that wants control. Not a life that wants to, but a life that loves space, darkness, emptiness, meditation, prayer. That life loves it, not in order to feel good about it, but because it is sustaining itself. Just as we love food, but we don't create a big thing about food, or we love water, like that prayer and meditation is something that sustains us, just as water and bread and meat sustains us. So, get into that mode which says, I am going to see my life differently from today. If you are let me see. Some of the questions of some of the people that I meet in my parish as a priest for so many years, you ask themselves, so Mrs. Wellington, how's life? Battery's gone. The struggle, Father. My next question is, then I said, I'm not being flippant about it, but I want to ask this. How long are you going to be living a struggling life? At what age will you drop the struggle? I don't think there's a way out. Then I feel so sad. So sad. Life is a struggle and there is no way out. I want you to be out of this mess by saying, no, my life is not a struggle. My life is 2, 2, 3, 4. I don't have to struggle. The ego wants you to struggle because it wants to control you. Isn't most of our life, therefore, spent in struggle in order to be worthy of praise, in order to be successful, in order... I'll tell you this, it struck me so that I asked, now is the season where the college students are coming back home, you know. So I met one of them who's now second year college, I asked. So that guy was an altar server, so we are good friends. So I asked him, what would you like to be in your life? Would you like to be successful or would you like to be happy? Successful. If you want to be successful, you have to struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle. You can be happy without being successful. But now this world is treating everybody. You want to do something, you have to go up the corporate ladder. You want to do something, you have to get A plus, you have to do something, so you have to do something, you have to do something, you have to do something. So you're struggling in order to be economically viable, in order to be worthy of praise, in order to have some social standing. So these are what? Addictive longings. These are not intuitive desires. The intuitive desires is here. And finally, after going through this struggling, yesterday I told in my RCIA class, whether we like it or not, at a certain junction of our life, spirituality hits us so hard that we begin to take us. And my experience in the VA has taught me that, where they have been successful, they have struggled all their life, everything, and now they have come to the VA. They're sitting on a chair. They are being pushed around. They are losing their eyesight. Some of them have got earplugs. Most of the men and women have diapers because they are leaking here and there. Somebody has to remove their clothes and they have lost their dignity and lost their respect. The lucky ones have their children and grandchildren coming to visit them. More than half of them have nobody. And then I call that a crash course in spirituality. Now they have nothing. Everything has been removed from them. So now they stand naked. What do they do? So thanks to your wisdom, you're not going to need a crash course in